Two notes can sit on exactly the same line of the staff, same pitch, same position, and yet one of them rings for 4 full beats while the other is gone in 1. The difference is not the pitch. It is the shape of the note, and that shape is a tiny clock built right into the cymbal. Once you can read that clock, you know not just which note to play but how long to stay there. That is the second half of reading music, the half most beginners rush past. Get it clear now and everything you read afterwards will make sense immediately. Start with the longest of the 3 main values. The whole note is a hollow oval with no stem attached to it at all. Place 1 on the staff and it fills an entire bar of 4 beats. While it rings you count for steady pulses underneath it, 1, 2, 3, 4, and only then do you move to the next note. Nothing happens on beats 2, 3, or 4. The note simply holds. This is unusual when you first encounter it. Most players want to move sooner. But the whole note is patient. It occupies its full 4 beats and does not apologize for it. Learn to count through those 4 beats without rushing and you have already learned the hardest part of reading rhythm. Now halve it. The half note looks almost the same, a hollow oval, but it wears a stem on the right side of the head. Because it is half the length of the whole note, it lasts exactly 2 beats. 1, 2, and then you move on to whatever comes next. 2 half notes fit exactly where 1 whole note Saturday. They do not overlap or rush. Each one takes its 2 beats calmly and then releases. Notice what did not change when we moved from the whole note to the half note. The head is still hollow. The difference is only the stem. That stem is the visible marker that cuts the duration in half. When you see a hollow oval with a stem, count to 2. Halve it once more and you reach the quarter note. The oval is now filled in, solid black, and it still has a stem. It lasts 1 beat. For quarter notes fill the same bar that held 1 whole note or 2 halves. This is the note you will see most often in written music. Melodies are mostly quarter notes. Chords in basic notation are mostly quarter notes. The beat of a song maps most naturally onto quarter notes, which is exactly why for over 4, the most common time signature gives each beat 1 quarter note worth of space. When you see a filled black oval with a stem, count 1 beat and move on. This is the divide by 2 family tree in its simplest form. 1 whole becomes 2 halves. 2 halves become 4 quarters. Each step down cuts the duration in half. Hold that picture steady for a moment. The rule that connects these 3 values is simple and permanent. Every step down the tree cuts the duration in half. A whole note equals 2 halves. 2 halves equal 4 quarters. That relationship never changes, in any piece, in any key, at any tempo. The tempo, how fast the beat moves, does not affect the ratio. A half note is always twice as long as a quarter note, whether the piece is very slow or very fast. A whole note is always 4 times longer than a quarter note. These 3 values are the ones you will meet in nearly everything you read for the first time. Master the way they relate to each other and you are already reading rhythm. Now count a bar of each against the same steady pulse. For quarter notes first, 1 note per beat. Then 2 half notes, each lasting 2 beats. Then 1 whole note, sitting calmly across all 4. The pulse never changes between these passes. The click underneath stays exactly the same speed. Only the note values change, and with them only the number of times you press a new key. Notice that the bar always adds up to the same total. For quarter notes give you 4 beats. 2 halves give you 2 plus 2, 4 beats. 1 whole gives you 4 beats. The bar is a container and the total never exceeds its capacity. This is why written music is so stable to read once you know the values. The total always balances. Reading a mix is the next step. When different values share the same bar, you still count steadily and let each note ring for exactly its value before moving to the next. A half note followed by 2 quarters fills for beats just as neatly as for quarters alone. The half note takes beats 1 and 2. The first quarter takes beat 3. The second quarter takes beat 4. Nothing overlaps, nothing is skipped. You count through every beat whether a new note starts or not. If the half note starts on beat 1, you count 1, 2, and then on beat 3 the next note begins. The count tells you when each new note begins. Not the note itself, not your instinct, the count. Keep counting and the rhythm reads itself. The staff tells you where on the keyboard to play. The note value tells you how long to stay there. Those are the 2 questions written music answers on every single note, and now you have both of them. Together they give you pitch and duration, which is enough to read a melody accurately. Eighth notes and rests extend the same family further, cutting the duration in half once more, and that is where this series heads next.